Owning a puppy is such a wonderful journey, a journey full of joy, happiness, excitement, which from time to time is also accompanied by anxiety and a feeling of failure. We've raised many Whippet puppies, and there were always times when I felt helpless and thought, will they ever learn this and how? Because it seems like I'm going nowhere. So if you find yourself overwhelmed or feeling hopeless at times, you're not alone. Truth is, they always learn with the correct approach, patience, and persistence. Whatever you do, don't underestimate the opportunity you have when you choose to raise a Whippet from a young puppy. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance to turn them into whatever you want, like a ball of clay. You can shape it into something stunning, or you can ruin it beyond repair. And you better start shaping while the clay is still wet. If you're new here, I'm Addie, and I've had Whippets for 16 years. I've been owned by 10 of them, currently 6, and I make breed-specific videos to help existing and future Whippet owners. If that's your type of content or you want to learn more about the breed, you can subscribe and join our growing Whippet family. As promised last time, I'm starting series on the methods I used and the specific rules I followed that helped me shape our youngest Whippet, into the amazing, confident, cooperative adult she grew up to be. I know many of you love her, and I want to give credit to the factors that contributed to how she turned out, because not all of it is mine. One part is due to her being a very well-bred Whippet, ethically and responsibly bred at that. Apart from great genetics, she's had an excellent start of life, an incredible foundation I owe to her breeder. Another part is due to who she is, an individual with specific tendencies and predispositions, some of which made aspects of raising her easier and respectively more difficult. The finishing touches are due to how we raised her, because even the brightest potential can be ruined in the wrong hands. Just keep this in mind when you decide to get a Whippet, because they will be a product of these factors. I wasn't born with the knowledge I have today, and I'm decades far from knowing everything I want to know about Whippets. I learn something new every day, I've made mistakes during the years, I own up to them, and I learn from them. With every next puppy we raise, I try to improve. I take notes on what I missed, and I analyze what worked, what didn't, and why. Hopefully with our next puppy, I'll be able to show you a lot more behind the scenes. Speaking of getting a puppy, a lot of you ask, so let's get this out of the way. No, I'm not hiding a new puppy behind the scenes. If all goes well, our pack will grow next year, and the next edition will be born here, but plenty of time until then. We're starting this series with the topic of desensitizing Whippet puppies to touch and touch with various objects. The reason I decided to start with it, as opposed to socialization, fear management, or other crucial topics, is I don't see it being discussed very often. I can't stress enough how important it is for your Whippet to normalize from a young age, to be touched everywhere, to be touched or approached with different items, and to be picked up. But Addie, some dogs don't like being touched or picked up. Hell yeah, they don't, because they weren't taught it's a regular part of existence. You want to be able to pick up your Whippet's feet, to trim their nails, or to look at a wound. If there is a tick in their ear, you want them to easily let you take it out. You must be able to give them a bath and brush them without causing anxiety and turning the whole ordeal into a nightmare. In case of an emergency, when you have to pick them up, that must be normal for them. What if they go to the vet for a mere checkup and the doctor approaches them with some sort of a tool, but all your Whippet knows is being touched by hands and everything else is a death threat to them? And what if you have a promising show dog, but this one time the judge decides to quickly pull out a tape measure which your Whippet has never seen before, and that leads to a fear response and a bad memory imprinted in their minds beyond repair? There goes their show career right in the trash. Whippets are sensitive, dramatic, and often headstrong, and examples like these, which might seem insignificant to you, can be a huge deal to them. And I've seen many young Whippets that act like feral creatures that were just abducted from the nearest woods just because their owner wants to check out that dirt spot on their tail. He will grow out of it is what I hear a lot, but chances are slim, my friend, especially if you don't do anything about it. If you want to purchase a puppy and you've done your research correctly, that means you have decided to turn to an ethical, responsible breeder, and I'm very proud of you. In addition to all the benefits well-bred dogs come with, your puppy is already desensitized to various sights, sounds, and also touch. That's because we handle our puppies since the day they are born, and we ensure they're comfortable with having their bodies touched from nose to tail, and they're very content with being picked up and snuggled. We trim their nails weekly and even give them baths at least once before they leave to their forever homes. We want to set them up for success and give their future owners a kickstart. So congratulations, you will have a puppy with a solid foundation in desensitization. However, don't rely this is enough because your job begins now. And if for some reason you got a puppy with an unknown background or one that didn't have the best start of life, you can still help them grow into fantastic confident whippets. It's just that depending on their background, genetics and start of life, it could be more challenging or more time consuming. In my eyes, desensitizing a puppy to touch is no philosophy and requires no special preparation, but it can be a whole new world if you've never owned a dog before. First things first, use your common sense. Don't invade your sleeping puppy's space to poke around their face. Don't interrupt their playtime to teach them pulling on their feet is normal to prove a point. Your puppy owes you nothing, and the only point you'll prove is that you're the unpredictable and annoying destroyer of fun who unfortunately lives with them. Most whippets crave human touch and cuddling. Use this to your advantage. Every time your puppy is relaxed and curled up next to you and you're stroking them, you can use the chance to touch their ears, feet, and don't forget the nails and teeth. You can use treats as rewards if there are areas they feel less comfortable being touched, so pay them every time they let you. For Eris, who is food unmotivated, treats have no true meaning in most cases. Her reward is being with me or playing with me, so I took full advantage. You can practice the same thing while they're standing but relaxed, easy peasy. Be gentle at all times and don't do anything that could cause them pain or discomfort. I expect you will be spending plenty of time with them every day, so you can practice this any chance you get. Whippets are clingy, they love to be loved, and those needs of theirs are your best friend. If you have a puppy that's less comfortable or hesitant with being carried around, make the whole thing the door to a positive experience. Pick them up to sit on the couch and give them the best scratches of their lives, or to show them something cool outside the window, like a bird, a cat, or another dog walking by. Whippets have an incredible eyesight, and you'll be surprised by the weird things they find mesmerizing when they're puppies. Once they're completely comfortable with you picking them up and carrying them around, you can practice other things, like turning them on their back for belly scratches, for example. Time goes by and all the patience and positive reinforcement has paid off, so now your puppy will rarely question what you do to them, as you've proven yourself as a source of comfort and security. In simpler words, you've earned their trust, so keep it that way. Somewhere in between, you will have to start sneaking in objects, like a brush. Maybe they're not shedding yet, but you can stroke them with it. If they freak out the first time you approach them with it, and puppies can get startled by the weirdest of stuff, let them investigate it first. Eris thought the broom is a monster, but in a few minutes' time, she was brave enough to challenge it. Once she realized it doesn't react to the challenge, she had more confidence to investigate it. Eris 1, Broom 0. Again, if you have a food-motivated puppy, by all means use treats to encourage and reward them. When they feel comfortable with having the brush on their body, you can begin to practice brushing. Depending on the puppy, it could take minutes or days. Be gentle. The reason why some whippets despise brushing is because they have been brushed too harshly, and remember, they have a paper-thin skin and no undercoat, so make it a pleasant experience. You can practice with other objects, some of which not necessarily useful for your whippet. Use your common sense. Safe things only. The bigger the variety, the better. And don't chase them around or threaten them with items. The point is, in time they will think, here comes my human with his weird stuff again, but I trust him, so whatever. Instead of seeing you as Chucky with a knife anytime you go in their direction while holding a paper straw. Keep in mind that the more things a young whippet sees and feels from a young age, they're less likely to be caught by surprise by the weirdest things as they grow up. In addition, exercises like these build up their confidence in general and their trust towards you and the people they interact with. All of this might seem like common sense, but you'll be surprised by the number of new owners who neglect it and end up with puppies that act feral, youngsters who don't trust them enough, and adults who hide under the table by the sight of the most harmless household items. So just do it. Do it, do it, do it, and thank me later. And I think that's enough for this very simple, close to mind, but highly neglected topic. I wish you a wonderful weekend and a fantastic week afterwards, and I will see you very soon with a new video. Bye bye!